Hey there, it's Boots Owen here. This is a Dyson DC40 that I got recently. I don't know why it was thrown out. I think it works fine. I've tested the motor and it's certainly sucking. I've had a look at both filters. One's in here. And to get at that you just unscrew this, and I've blown it out with an air line. The other filter's in under here, in this little lid up on top. You pop that up when the canister's off. I'll show you how, and then you can wash it, but I've blown it out with an air line. I might wash them if the performance doesn't improve. Although I don't think there maybe is anything wrong with the performance, I just want to give it a clean. I think I've made a repair to the hose pipe here, and that'll be in another video. It may already be posted. So to get this canister off, because I want to have a good clean out inside here, because normally these fill up with dust and that slows it down. Press the button, canister clicks off, and then we can go up to the workbench. So then up on the workbench, to get the canister open, press the button, that opens the bottom, clicks this little thing out automatically. When that's down and the bottom's open, you can press this here, and then you can jiggle this off. You can just give that a wash in the sink, no problem. This piece of gauze here, you need to be really careful with that because it's very fine, but you can see it's all dusty. So I think if I'm careful and I don't slice my hands open, I think I can prise this off all the way around. I think it's just snapped in place. The noises you can hear in the background are a tumble dryer and a washing machine at the same time. So I think this is going to be like taking off a tire or a bicycle tire, and that I need to kind of snap it all the way around and kind of peel it off. Kind of get the suspicion that it's going to snap shut on me as I go. Maybe not. There it is, seems to be coming off quite easily actually. And there we are, and all the way around, and it'll only go back in one way. So, does that come off? Very careful not to tear the gauze here, of course. There's a bit of stuff in there, not much, there is a bit of dust. But that lets us see that these are also quite dusty in here. This all looks to be one unit, but it looks like this purple piece will come off, so it'll show you how to get the filter out here anyways. It says filter on it, pop that up. The filter's in here, big long pointy filter. Like I say, I've blown it out with the air line, so there's a bit of pet hair up in here. Hard to see, it is in there. So now it looks like these purple bits, there's a couple of tabs all around, would snap off. There's one, I think. I'll try this one up here. That's it. It's not too bad, this machine, this canister. I'm just trying to go very slowly and carefully because if you break it, it's broken. It sounds simple, then you gotta get a new canister or mend it somehow. So what I'm trying to do is get the screwdriver in, then lever it back to flip this grey bit at the tip of the screwdriver up. A bigger screwdriver seems easier. That's it. Now, when I take this apart, I can see there's a little spring in here. It's going to jump out, and it does two things. It keeps the pressure at an angle and also upwards, so it has a little locating thing on the end of it. And there's another spring behind this tab here I can just see sticking out there. So yeah, that's untwisted itself a turn and a half, so let's pull that off, set this aside, and you can see, oh yeah, there's the other spring. Come back here, there it is. Set that aside. There's a lot of dust in there, like loads of it, so a good bath is all this will need. I wonder, does this come apart any further? There's a foam thing on top there, so I wonder if I can get this top piece off somehow. Screws maybe from below. Can't see any other way. These all seem to be sat, this piece here seems to be sat in on top. There's a little rubber gasket here. It should come off. Just force it off, I think. Yeah. Just force it off all the way around. It's clean underneath there, so I presume this was never done before. And that's all one piece of plastic, so that's just a sealing gasket. Doesn't really need to come off. I'm just trying to look around in here and see, is there any screws or anything that I can see. Give me an idea as to how this comes off. Kind of a plastic seal there. The issue I have is if I don't get this fully apart, I'll just be washing the dirt into the cyclones, and then it'll set in there, which isn't great. So just to make life a bit more difficult, or maybe easier, let's take this off. That handle, just levered it off there with the screwdriver, put that aside. So because there's a gasket that's quite soft in here, I think this top piece should lift up. So you can see this gasket all the way around here, it's quite soft. I think this top piece should lift up, but it might be glued in place. I'm trying to take a view on that. See, if I put the screwdriver in there, I can see that it will come up a bit, but it must be snapped in place somewhere. But where is the question? Oh, maybe this just pulls off all the way around. Maybe. These all individually seem to be snapped on. Okay, so that comes off then, does it? Trying to ease it down gently. This dust is very good for you if you're allergic to dust or pets. Okay, so that's that off. And then there's a load of torque screws right up in here. So if you see right in there, you can see two of them there, another one as they come around. Yeah, that'll do. Doesn't need to be flexible, but it does need to be long enough, and that's what this has given me. One. So hopefully, like, it's clear that I don't know what I'm doing. But what that might let you come to the conclusion of is that anyone can do this. Just need a bit of patience, not force anything, feel your way through it. And of course, if you want, like, don't practice. If something's broken, don't practice on something that you want to keep. If you know you can afford to bring it to a repairman or a repair shop, do that. But the issue is that this job is going to take me maybe half an hour or an hour to puzzle out and wash and then put it back together and let it dry overnight. I'm not going to go to a repair shop just overnight. It's going to take a couple of days. Well, I could do it the next day, maybe even the same day, and they're not going to fix it straight away. They might, but okay, so that's the two sides. And there's all the screws hanging at the bottom. So I think we had 6 screws there. And then this one falls down. Those cones are all quite clean. It's the outsides of them that's dirtier. And there's a bit of a flexible plastic and a flexible gasket on this. I'll leave that together. You can see there's dust on it there. It's not too dirty, this, really. No, it's not too bad. It's quite flimsy plastic, that. I've given that a squeeze and it's very light. It's probably strong enough, you know? Okay, I'll give this a wash off in the sink. But before I wash it, the point was, I might learn something by doing this, and I might save a few quid by doing this, and it might mean that I don't have to pay someone else to do it. Yeah, look how dirty that is in there. So all of these little tracks are full of dust. And so these cones here sit in those tracks, so the airflow around them, it can't flow as well. What was my point? What point was I trying to make? Yeah, do it yourself, learn something, save a few quid, get the job done faster. All those things all together makes doing this kind of stuff worthwhile. And even if all you're doing is watching this video going, wow, this guy's a fool, doesn't know what he's doing, he should just bring it to the repairman. Well, you're watching it, and I'm enjoying myself. I'll get these things washed. I've got a few different jobs on the go. So this black pipe coming in here, it's from the washing machine. And I need to abort cleaning these things as soon as that starts coming through. I'm doing a test wash. So I've washed everything off around the canister. I've blown the filters out with an air line. So that's a high pressure air hose. And now I've just got to reassemble all this and try and do it correctly. I've given it a wash. This is the handle bit, and this bit here now is going to be fun. Somehow just snaps in, somehow easily, simply. That's it. Okay, that's in. Then, I've got to try and remember how we built up this thing. I think this went on last, or first. This gasket goes on here. You gotta be very gentle, because if you break one of these, that's it. You're gonna have to buy a new one. And that's the last thing I want to do, so I'm just pushing it down all around one at a time, but not to the bottom. So I'm just working my way around, get it on over the tops of all of them, and then push it down to the bottom. It doesn't seem to have a particular way it goes, it just seems to fit all the way around. All these plastic bits are very, very lightweight on this machine. Okay, I haven't made a great job of cleaning that, so I'm going to get a cloth and wipe it off. It's this stuff that takes the time, really. Like, actually taking it apart and putting it back together doesn't take very long. It's just disheartening if you do it incorrectly, and you have to disassemble it again. Okay, that's good enough for me. So this bit. Now, I don't think this one has a particular way of lining up as long as the screws are in the right places. No, it does. It has a little blade there. It may only go in one direction. Yeah, so there's one cavity has a gap to help that line up. And then this one, I think, goes on next. Now, it has the slot there for the little red thing, and that has to line up with here. So that makes life easy. I'm just guessing as I'm going. I think that brings me back to screw time. And this called for the snaky torque screwdriver, which hopefully has a bit of magnetism in it. And this is the last one, 6. I've skipped ahead there because it's getting boring. What I've been doing, instead of using the magnet, I've been angling the body up and then just offering it in. Difficult to see, but once you've offered it up, that's it, you're in. Let's go around and check all these again. Plastic in my hand, it feels kind of sharp on my fingers. Not used to that. It's very, like I said at the start when I was taking part, it's very, very flimsy, lightweight plastic. When it's all combined together, it's obviously robust enough, but it feels very light in your hand. I'm just checking that all these are... I'm just checking that they're all at the correct torque settings. I think this just slides down. Again, it doesn't seem to have a correct direction. I just had to go down as far as it went. So it's got those little, there's these little risers, little stiffeners on the plastic. It can't go any further than that, so you just have to bring it down gently the whole way around, one at a time. It's interesting to see plastics being used in this way, because it kind of suggests that they're expecting things to be throwaway now. You know, these gaskets, like this one here, it's like it's just fallen out. I don't know if you can see it there. There's a little gasket in there. I'm just tucking it back in. They're all kind of, I won't say disposable because they're not disposable, but they're certainly not like long-term things. Okay. This one had this little button here that had to line up here, and there was a little spring behind it. So I think before I put that on, I'll put this on, this rubber ring. Kind of have to coax this on all the way around. You could use some silicone grease to get it on, the kind you use for drainage pipes. I've been lucky, it's just gone on there. So this little button has to pop out. You can see this being fun. wonder, does it snap out completely? Is this even possible to get in? Now, cover your eyes, because this is where this is going to go wrong. It's going to wind up springing across the room. Or it'll just go into place. No, wow, it landed back where it should have. Whoops. Okay, I'll do it on the side first. There it is. I want some kind of like a little wafer clamp or something there to... No. This is the stuff that'll get you. Okay, there's that button out. I'm not sure if that'll go back in now, but let's... You can always take it apart again. Snap, 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 snap. I don't think I have any pieces left over that are meant to go in there. Right, spring. And then... Again, where will the spring go if it pops? I'm just going to try and ease that in. No, it's not going to do it. Can you push it down like that? See, there seems to be more of a bevel on the other side, whether or not that's true. Oh yeah, there is for sure. There's a bevel on that side, so I'm doing it the wrong way around. So it should just snap into place this way. Say that with great confidence until it doesn't. Yikes. That's one, that's two. There it is. Okay, so it does go on one side first, and you can see the little tiny bevels on this side, but not on this side. Okay, this handle's next, if I recall, and it just snaps in as well. So let one side on, then let the other side over. Just pull them apart. Oops. I've missed that red thing. That's it. Okay, now this spring promises to be fun. In fact, I think I should have done it first. Yes, most certainly. Balls. Okay, learn your lesson. Can I do it now? What it is, I don't want to try and get this spring back in again. No, I don't think so. I think I've got to take it all off again. Okay, learn my lesson. Take that out. Pop this out. Push this in. Now, push this back together, but this spring, see if I push that red thing in there now, it just stays down. So this spring is meant to give it a bit of poke up that way. So I need to rotate this a turn and a half. And then catch it on this thing here. If I show you first, there's this little tiny piece of plastic here. The spring has to catch on that. Just there. Where's it gone? Just there. And it will. So twist it around once. And again. The spring is like a little bit too small to snap onto that thing. So I've got it there. Hopefully that's it. You see, if I press that now, it pops back up. Snap, 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 snap. Sorry you had to bear through that. So looking at it this way, the right side clicks in first. There's a little cross underneath that the spring has to go into. We'll get there. Maybe not. That's it. Screwdriver just focuses the force down on it. I think that's nearly it. This gauze, and it has a locating slot up there that joins up with here. And be very careful not to scrape the gauze off any of those fins that are inside. Because there's those little plastic fins inside. You don't tear that. It's only very, very fine mesh. Push it right up and then snap it on all the way around. Like I said at the start, I've never done this before, but that's all there is to it. So then open this up, put this sock back in. That's snapped shut. And then this goes in here. We have to open the bottom to get that in. It locates with the tab on the front there. And then the back, that silver tab is already slotted in place. And then that's it. That's your canister reassembled. I'll put it together, and I've got a dirty carpet behind me, and I'll give it a go on that. Okay, let's try it. Excellent. That's the Dyson DC40. How you clean the canister. Works well. Thanks for watching. See you later.